He accused me of stealing $84,750. I had no idea what was coming until metadata exposed the real thief. I never thought I'd end up in court defending my name against the very company I gave 3 years of my life to. But when the truth came out, it wasn't just about clearing my name. It was about exposing the man who thought I'd stay silent. It started like any other Tuesday. Emails piling up, coffee going cold before I could take more than 2 sips, and my boss, Mr. Charming, walking into the office like he owned not just the company, but the air we breathed. He had that movie villain smile, the kind that seemed warm until you noticed his eyes never joined in. I'd been at the company for 3 years, working my way up from a junior accountant to someone Mr. Charming pretended to respect. We weren't friends. We weren't enemies. We were cautious colleagues, or so I thought. Out of nowhere, 2 men in dark suits walked into the office, straight to my desk. One of them handed me an envelope. Inside was a court summons for embezzlement. My brain stuttered. Surely this was some mix-up. I barely even had authority to approve minor expense claims. But there it was, my name, my ID, and a claim that I'd stolen $84,750 from the company. Mr. Charming emerged from his office in what I can only describe as a badly acted performance of shock. His, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this," was so theatrical that it made my stomach twist. I knew in that moment something was deeply wrong. Here's the question I'll leave with you, my audience. What would you do if your boss tried to feign you? Have you ever been blamed for something you didn't do? I found an attorney, Miss Rivera, who had this quiet, unshakable energy, the kind of lawyer who could turn a whisper into a thunderclap in court. She went through the evidence against me. It came down to one thing, an internal spreadsheet showing multiple fake vendor payments, each one approved under my credentials. Except I'd never even seen that spreadsheet. Miss Rivera explained something about digital files I'd never paid attention to before: metadata. Think of it like the DNA of a document. Hidden details like who created it, when, and how it was edited. We requested the original file through discovery. The other side fought back, delaying, making excuses. When we finally got it, Miss Rivera's lips curved into the smallest of smiles. The creator and last editor? Not me. It was Mr. Charming's own login ID. On the day of the trial. The courthouse smelled like old books and stale coffee. I sat at the defendant's table, my hands shaking under the surface. Across the room, Mr. Charming oozed fake confidence. His expensive suit screamed victory, but his eyes darted like a man checking for predators. The prosecution began with their spreadsheet. They painted me as greedy, manipulative, a mastermind who thought she could outsmart her own company. I felt like I was watching a bad Netflix drama, starring me. At the time of cross-examination, it was Miss Rivera's turn. Rivera asked, "Let's talk about this spreadsheet. Can you confirm when it was created?" Mr. Charming said, I believe it was sometime in June last year." Rivera asked, "And who created it?" Mr. Charming said, "Our accounting department, under Miss K's supervision." Miss Rivera nodded, calm as a lake on a windless day. Rivera said, "Your Honor, we'd like to present Exhibit B, the metadata of this file." The judge adjusted his glasses. "Proceed." On the screen flashed lines of data most people wouldn't understand, but I'd seen the important part in bold letters. Created by R. Charming 01. The room went still. That was the moment when everything changed. The judge leaned forward. Judge asked, "Mr. Charming, that's your username, is it not?" Mr. Charming hesitated, just for a heartbeat, but it was enough. Mr. Charming said, Yes, but..." Miss Rivera didn't let him breathe. Rivera asked, "So you created the document that you claim proves my client is guilty?" He stammered something about internal procedures and delegation, but the damage was done. You could feel the jury shifting in their seats. During closing arguments, when the evidence was presented, by the end of the trial, the judge didn't need long. The charges against me were dismissed on the spot, and this part still gives me chills. The judge referred Mr. Charming to the district attorney for possible charges of perjury and fraud. As we left the courtroom, I caught sight of him, deflated, clutching his phone like it was a lifeline. The fallout was swift. Rumors spread through the industry. Clients dropped his firm. LinkedIn updates suddenly listed seeking new opportunities. Me, I took a month off to breathe. Then I joined a new company where the boss actually valued honesty. The first time my new manager thanked me for my work, I nearly cried. Looking back, the thing that stings the most isn't that he tried to frame me. It's that he thought he could. That I was invisible enough, unimportant enough, that I wouldn't fight back. But I did, and I won. Some people think power means control. Mr. Charming thought he could rewrite the truth and bury me under it. But the truth has a way of surfacing, especially when you refuse to back down. So here's my question for you, my audience. What would you have done in this situation? Would you have fought back or walked away quietly?